Good afternoon, good morning. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing? Hey, Raj. Hey, Travis, Jam, Ronan, Lear. Hey, hey, how are you doing? Well, there's no shorting this morning. Boy, let's see if we get an inventory correction down. Merry Christmas. Happy Monday. Hope everyone is doing well and had a nice weekend. And we're creeping on 69.23 and 3/4. So overnight inventory is 100% long. We also have a gap, so we are going to be opening on a fairly sizable gap because we high closed on Friday. And I was thinking that we'd get some sort of backfill, but when it opened last night, there's a bunch of buy orders in that opening auction, and we opened. We also have a poor low in the overnight profile, and so it's just pure distribution now. When we get to the 1 minute chart, you'll see how choppy it's been. So it's been really tough trying to get good trade location. Um, let's go take a look. But first, let's go look at these upper levels. Now, I think you folks are familiar with the fact that when these markets get close, hey Tom, how you doing? How's Florida? When these markets get close to a holiday, a lot of the order flow starts to slow down, and this creates opportunity. So closer to a holiday, remember 4th of July, Thanksgiving, you tend to get that sort of move up to mark markets up. Now, I don't know if that's going to continue into the end of the year, but as long as we keep taking out these upper levels, that's what we're really looking for. Hey, Dark Bunny, hello, welcome to the room. So we are in the last little bit of inventory here. You can see from 69.03 to 69.33. That's where the bulk of this trading volume is. If we can clear 69.33 and then 43, there's really not a lot up here for supply. Most of that supply has been flushed down because we had that big move from, now this is the new contract and it's adjusted. You can see the old highs are here. I haven't adjusted them yet, but I will. Hopefully we don't get there today. So let's take a look at what we're dealing with. You have a market where we had a big look below and fail of 67.88. The target is 70.30. That's the zone we're in. So 67.88, 69.03 is the middle. The top is 70.30. So if we start taking out that 69.43 area and those highs, that could be a target that is valid going into the end of the year. Okay? Now, our trading today, you can see there's the gap. We opened up here, came down. We have a double bottom in the overnight, so that's a poor low. So shorts are trapped underneath 6,900, between 6,900 and 68.96. And that's the bid. That's the bid. Let's see what we can do here. We are really pushing it because the more people who shorted it, the more it's going to get pushed up because those people have to cover as they realize, if you're short 69.09, as soon as it started taking out the 13s, people went into cover and we got that extension upwards. Let's go take a look. Balance levels are working nicely tonight. The price action last night was not that great. It was very, very choppy. Very difficult to trade because you would have had to sit and wait for that or that or that. The rest of these trades, you'd be sitting in these trades for hours without any resolution. And that is one of the things that will really chew up not only your financial capital, but it'll chew up your mental capital because you're sitting in an area where you're not supposed to be. And it's just grinding away and it's not moving. And that starts to play with your head. So you start thinking about ways, well, maybe I should short it, maybe I should close, maybe I should, when you see candles like this, for a retail trader, that means just do not be involved. See, the one good thing about retail is that you get to decide when you execute. So when you see formations like that, the only way to trade this is to build a position. Okay? The only way to do this is to build a position. So and here you would have been building a long position, but if you had not been selling at 69.06, if you were long 4 and 3, there's not a lot of meat on the bone. And then it dipped down and then it finally came up. Very unpredictable, choppy order flow, as it should be, because really there are not that many people trading right now. So now we are going into our 4 times cost basis. Yeah, let's see if we get any liquidation. I'm not saying we can't. So overnight inventory is 100% long. The counter trade is 75% of the time you'll get a move down. So if you're a short seller, a look above and fail of 69.20 is what you're looking at. And we'd be looking to see if the sellers have to put it on sale under 20. If not, if it comes down to 20 and stalls, that's a warning sign. Right, you have to pay attention to the warning signs. Look at how these 2 candles, very, very clear ever since I started showing you guys. There is a seller here, and they stop selling here. So right now, the wholesalers are just retailing it out in this little range. If they have to, they'll put it on sale, and it'll come underneath 20. And if it takes out that low, then some of this inventory should fall out. And that is what the look below and fail is based on. Or the look above and fail, I'm sorry. What bias for direction can you trade a position in a barcode pattern? That's the most difficult thing to figure out. Is it an accumulation? And how big is your barcode pattern? If your barcode pattern is 2 to 3 points, those trades, Kevin, are best left to a wholesale market maker. You guys have to understand that there are some times when the chart is telling you you just should not be involved. Right? It's like it's raining, pouring, and it's dark, and it's like the skies are black, and you're out there trying to sell sunglasses. Right? It just doesn't make any sense. So the chart is trying to tell you, right, that this is not a good time. So that's why we're waiting for RTH to see if we can get some more people into the store, right? Get a bit more order flow, right? Get some follow through. One sec. Yeah. See, look, see how it caught that bid right here at 20 and a quarter, right? Volume picked up on that last 1 minute candle, right? And you don't even need to have the volume on there to be able to tell. You get a big candle, big volume, small candle, small volume, right? A lot of the technical analysis stuff, as good as it is, a lot of it's really, really hard to memorize patterns and all these things. So I say, why don't you just look at the business? And if you understand a little bit about the business, you can understand, well, what can we tell? The top of these candles here are where the sellers initiate. So they are sellers waiting at 22 and a half. They're just waiting. That's why the top of this candle is 22 quarter, because they front ran that half. So if I was long 20 and a half, I would be selling at 22. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Right? So even if you're not trading today, this is a great, when it's slow like this, it's a great time to sit, watch the charts, make notes, and learn where you're interacting with the people who actually make the market. Right? See how it hit 22 and a half to the tick. Now, if those sellers see buyers, they will lift their offer and you will get a 22 and 3/4 print. Exactly. Watch. Now let's see if that red line goes up over 22 and a half and the market can transact at 22 and 3/4. Because if it can't, the offer will move down. There, see how it moved up but nobody bought it. See how the offer moved up and nobody took it. So you know that there's not a lot of follow through. You can tell what kind of business is being done just by watching a simple 1 minute candle chart. So you know that there's a seller at 22 half. So how does that help you? What is the practical aspect of that? If you're a breakout trader and you're looking to buy a breakout, you want to make sure that the market breaks over 22 and a half and stays over it and the offer is lifting. Now, because you don't have a lot of references to the left, you would stagger your sell orders. Say you were long 22 and a half, 22 and 3/4. Put a sell order out at 23 and a half, 23 and 3/4, 24, 24 and a quarter. Right? If we do get a gap fill, it most probably will be later in the day, unless we get large selling off the open. Because everybody is, I don't know where you guys learned this, but all of you guys have been trained to, if a market gaps up, you automatically short it. The problem is in a market that has a limited amount of supply, it's a trap, right? This market, hey Zazu, how you doing? This market has an annoying habit of running out of supply just when everybody gets short. Okay? So how do you not get sucked into that? You watch the offer. Right now, there is no need for the sellers to reduce price under 22. or under 20 and a quarter. So if you're looking for a short, you want to see that offer moving lower consecutively, and you want the highs of those 1 minute candles to be lower and lower and lower. So when a candle has a lower high, it means sellers are competing and stepping in front of each other and undercutting each other price-wise. And that's what you want as a short. That's why I teach you guys to go long before going short, because the best way to learn how to short is to go long. Why? Because then you can understand and experience what it's like to compete as a seller with other sellers. When you see competition, then you will know when to initiate a short. And also you will know where to put your stop, because if those sellers don't have to price compete, they are going to raise price. And why would you sell something you don't own in a place where the people who actually own it have no intention of selling it? So as we talked about all year, there's a business reason for the trade and a business reason. When that business reason goes away, there's no reason for you to be in the trade. So if you were shorting this, your business reason is that they need to sell it under 22 or under 20 and a quarter. If the market starts lifting, it means the sellers have seen buyers and are raising price. Remember, this is nothing more than a sales chart, right? This is a chart that tells you minute by minute how sales are going in the ES. That's all it is. Right? It's accumulation of product and distribution for a profit. When we run out of buyers, we have to put it on sale, mark it down, right? Hey, Moran, how are you? Yeah, pretend you're a seller. Pretend you have 1,000 contracts. Wouldn't you like to sell those 1,000 contracts as high as you can, above what you paid for them? That kind of makes sense. Hey, Marky, what's going on? How you doing? Happy Monday. So what are we going to do off the open here? Yeah, it looks like 3 points here, 3 points there. We may get a liquidation later, right? I would not count out a liquidation. But right now, this is where they suck everybody into shorting it and then use that short bid to move the market higher, right? Hey, Arkoy, how you doing? Good to see you. I do not keep track of the Fed. I mean, of course, we look at all the FOMC days and things like that, but they may have, right? So in stock trading, this is known as a gap and trap, right? You gap a market up, and that does two things. The first thing it does is all those holy crap shorts have to come in and start covering. And when the holy crap shorts come in and cover, right, the FOMO longs, right, the, oh my God, look at it go, I gotta get on, they chase. So you get two sets of buyers, and the sellers, you can just kind of imagine the sellers sitting there, and we just sit there and we're rubbing our hands together and going, fresh meat, right? So we will try. Now, it's order flow dependent, so we can't hold a market up or keep a market up. But if enough of these people come in and start covering and start chasing long, we can slowly, remember that this market is all electronically traded. So these algorithms can sense the order flow and cut and add size in a blink of an eye, right? So just something to be aware of. That's why it's slow, right? It's also slow because no large trader is going to come in and go, oh, this is a good deal at 69.22. I'm going to buy 5,000 contracts and try and sell them 50 points higher. That's not going to happen 2 days before Christmas, right? So we have to manage our expectations. And when you manage your expectations, you manage your risk. You can see how they're selling, right? Sell orders are here, and they stop selling right here. So you got a 21.5 to about a 23.25. That's a rotation. See? Hey, Mike, how you doing? Yeah, Lear, I'm right there with you. I've got 33.75 as a level, so we're about 3 ticks apart on that. There's kind of a swing high up at 33. You see this high right here? If we take that high, we might get one of these. Oh, gold. You know what? I don't have that chart open. Simpson, I'll take a look at it and I'll post a gold chart later. I haven't looked at gold since I did a gold deal. See how the market comes in bids right here? They just stop selling. And they're just, this is called retailing it out, right? What do I have for an all-time high? I've got a 7,005.75 all-time high in RTH and a 70.1375 all-time high, and that's from Globex and RTH of the 29th. So I don't know if the market's going to close at all-time highs. October 29th. Now, you got to remember, Alexander, that I'm using a continuous contract, volume-based rollover, back adjusted. So it depends if you... Now, I've been doing that for 10 years now. Let's see, we're starting to build up some time over here. Right? Now we've opened. Whoa. That was a very... Not a dramatic open at all. There's the inventory adjustment, folks. Sorry, I was... one big candle. There it is. Right? So when we took out 69.20, right, when it comes back up there, you want to see if that seller is still there. If that seller is still there, watch. We just flushed out a whole bunch of 20 longs down to that 17 area, back up. Watch and see if this thing holds 20, because I'd be looking to see if we could maybe short 23 again. Let's see. We're still in the first candle, right? It's only been a minute. It's a big candle. Somebody just went whack and they sold into it. Up here, see, these sellers are all seeing buyers, so they're just raising price. I'm a little slow this morning, so I did not get that short from 20 down. Now, right now, I don't see a short. They gave us 1 minute to short it. Now, how many people do you think are short under 20, under 23? We'll find out soon enough as we go tickle that 23 half. What's our high? 25, 26. We're coming up on that 33 area, folks, so be careful. If we take out 32 and accept above 33 3/4, I want you to watch your whiskers if you're a short seller. Right? We're still in the front end of the move. We're in the front side of the move, right? They sucked everybody in with this big red candle, right? Yeah, good that you got it. I didn't get it. I was looking for it, but didn't even have my DOM up. Point of control, which is where the inventory is priced, is up here at 26.5, 26 3/4. That's that purple thing here. That just shows you that there's a lot of buying up at that level. Now let's see if we can bid that overnight high at 24. If you're short, excuse me. See, I missed that 24 short. That's okay. Let's see. Can we get under 20 1/4? That'll be a little bit more. Not yet. Looks like there's a seller around 21 right now. But do you see how it trades and then it stops? Is anybody else's doing that, or is that just my data feed slow? I'm short 19 1/4, and I bought them back at 17 1/2. Not the greatest trade. If it takes out the 17s, this is that look above and fail. If it takes out the 17s, you want to bid 16.15 and front run VWAP. Yours is doing the same? Okay. Could be that it's just really slow and choppy. But I notice it almost looks like my screen freezes and then it trades. There's that A low. If we take that out, you're looking for 14 and change. Now, let's see. We know the sellers are initiating here, right? So if you're shorting this area here, and you know VWAP's at 13, you're going to want to go and put bids in before VWAP. Not freeze, but pauses, right? It kind of pauses. It's slow. Front end of the move. Front end of the move, back end of the move. It's very hard to understand the front versus the back end of the move. But once you do, it's going to change your life, because you're not going to be anticipating the short and shorting off anticipation. You're going to be shorting off of facts, right? Let's see where the next candle opens up. See if we're short under 20. Go put some 16 bids there. Nice, nice. I'm short. Yeah, that was nice. So I shorted here at 19 and a quarter and then some at 18, and I just covered it at 16. Quick scalps, backside of the move, right? So this is the front side of the move, backside of the move, front side of the move, backside of the move. You always want to short the backside of the move. Now, when you short the backside of the move, you have this feeling that I'm shorting in the hole. But what you're doing is when you short the backside of the move, you've actually found a seller. And when you find a seller, 200 to 500 ticks a lot smoother. Yes, you'll have to show me how to set that up, Lear. Much appreciated. Because you guys use tick charts too, right? I've never played with those. There's a seller at 20. I like a 1 minute chart. Sometimes when I get bored, I look at a 30-second chart. But I don't really trade off of it. Do you see how it's kind of pausing before it gets down to VWAP at 14? Is it, Moran? Oh, cool. Yeah, you guys have experimented with a lot of stuff. Well, okay. I think we'll eventually tickle VWAP at 14. And I really want to see how it reacts once we get into the meat of the overnight. This is where the cost basis of the overnight is. If you're short and the tops of the candles are getting lower, there's VWAP. Beautiful. Right? There's the tag of VWAP. Let's see how much responsive buying there is off of VWAP. We did not take the 13.5 stop. So folks, this week, what's our schedule going to look like? Well, I'll do a Globex session tomorrow, 7:30 in the morning UK time. And I'll do a session at 9. Now, Wednesday is Christmas Eve. It's also a half day. So I'll do a Globex session because people are up, they want to trade. Unless people tell me not to. Do you guys want an RTH session on Wednesday? Because it is a half day. Or an early close, not a half day. Let me know. I'll do those RTH sessions. If I do one, like even tomorrow and stuff like that, I'll just do an hour, especially if it's slow. Yeah, there's really no reason doing an RTH session on Wednesday, is there? Exactly. Good. Okay, so nothing on Wednesday. Thursday's a holiday. Friday is a holiday in the UK and Canada, but it's not a holiday anywhere else. So I'll be here on Friday. This is actually the first year in 3 years that I'm here this week. Usually we shut it down for 2 weeks. But this year we decided to stay in the beautiful city of Liverpool. Looking for underneath VWAP. There's still some bids underneath VWAP, right? Just underneath 14. This is some short covering. Now watch, when the market starts to rotate higher, look and see where they sell into it, right? That's where you're doing your due diligence. That's where you're stalking levels, right? There we go. Next target is going to be 12. There's still some bids coming in at VWAP. So anyone who's short 24, 22, 21, all the way down, they're going to be doing some covering at VWAP because that's how the business works. There's 12. As we come down to 11, that's where the cost basis of the overnight session was. So let's see what kind of reaction we get when we get down there. And if you are long, remember that there are going to be sellers at the tops of these candles. So here, here, and so on, right? You can see this is the cost basis of the overnight. We came into it and moved up off of it. Hey, Bill, what's going on? Oh, so far it's a gap and trap. But we don't know if we're going to go down and fill the gap. Yeah, so of course anyone who's long over 20 is trapped. Anyone who's long over 18 is trapped. And they got to figure out what they do now. It's pretty hard to have gap and goes with a lot of order flow right off the get-go, especially before the holidays. Nobody really wants to play, right? You know, where's that place that these guys go? Stad or Gustad, or I don't know how to pronounce it. See, because I've never been there. That's where they all are. Ugh. Crazy business. Yeah, right at that overnight POC. Little chop here. Nothing. I wouldn't be in here right now. So what are the trades I'm looking for? Well, I'm looking for this, or and then down, or this. But right here at VWAP, that's kind of a no-go place for me right now. Yeah, 3-4 point trades are beautiful. That's all you need. You know, do a couple of 3-point trades, 5-10 contracts, you're done. See the sellers there at 17 3/4? As we said, right? They would be right here. There they are. Oh, excuse me. See how we stopped right before that U low? If you are building a long position here, right? If you are long in this area, you know, you're going to be using 12 as your out and your target's going to be 20, okay? If we start taking out 14, 13, be careful. Those are your danger zone levels. Let's see if we can take out that 18 seller. Oh, no, they're still there. Do you see how when we got up there, they sold into it? And that's how you trade with situational awareness, right? So say you were long at 14 or 13 or even 15. When it gets up to 18, you know that there's a seller there. So put your sell orders out. And if your sell orders don't get transacted, then you know you have to get out of your position, right? Real traders use their orders to tell them and give them feedback on the business that's going on, right? So if I'm long at say $5 and I put a sell order out at 5.50 and it's sitting there for half an hour and nobody wants to buy it, there we go. We have to be aware of where the buyers and where the sellers are in this business. If you're not, it can get really, really, really difficult. Just common sense. There you go, Lear. Nice work. Nice work. Sell into strength. Do not wait for an engraved invitation on when to sell. Don't worry about trying to make 30 points. Try and make 3 or 4 and keep it. And then go make another 3 or 4 and keep it. Then you're cooking with gas. Pretty choppy, huh, folks? Yeah, that's pretty choppy. Yeah, that's, the beautiful thing about retail trading is, there's a lot of disadvantages to retail trading, but the one good thing is you get to transact on your own terms, right? You get to do business on your own terms. That's the most important thing. Yeah, they're not getting my money. Not right now. And you know what? You may only take one trade, and that's okay. There we go. That pop over 20. Looking for the open. Remember, if you're long, where were they selling before? Up here at 23. Yep, definitely, folks. Come check out the Trading Syndicate. Sorry, I sound like I've had somebody took my batteries out. I apologize. I'll have some more energy tomorrow. It was a long night. Yeah, you guys have to check out our AI trading coach. It's the bee's knees. Bit of a chop fest, eh? That's okay. There'll be lots of opportunity in the new year. Heck, maybe even next week we might get some nice trades. Yeah, no kidding, Lear. Don't feel bad if you're not trading this. They're going to sell as much as they can up here until they have to put it on sale. When they've ran out of people, they'll have to put it on sale. Okay, over 20. If we can pop the overnight high and get above the overnight high, that's going to force some shorts to cover. See how there's a seller there at 23 quarter? 23 and 23 quarter? Because if you were long 16, 17, you'd be selling 23, right? What size? See how they're selling into it at that overnight high? Nice work, S-Pill. Well done. Well done. And it only took 3 minutes. Okay, so we've got a seller at 23.5. Right? Back down. Choppy. See how there's no follow through over that overnight high? Because we got up there, and as soon as we got up there, they blasted it. You would have done the same. You would have done the same. Because you'd look and you'd go, oh my gosh, there's not a lot of customers coming in. I better get my 17 inventory out the door at 23. That's a pretty good, that's good money, right? Make sense? Trades have to make sense. 20 to 23 again. Right, so folks, I'm going to make a prediction that the first couple of months of January are going to be difficult to trade. I strongly advise you guys, and I know I sound like an ad, but you should come check out our trading room because we'll teach you how to make money in this business without blowing up your accounts and all that ugly stuff. Now, can we get over 24? What do you guys think? Look at that. See? Do you see the sellers? Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Same level. Same level as here. See, they sold here before, and they're selling there again. Once you know where the sellers are, it makes your life so much easier as a short seller and as a long. Everything will be hard to trade? Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with you there. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I'm yawning all the time. Apologize. Not in of itself. If we take out the overnight high, generally means we're going to stop run and then dump inventory into it. But failure to take out the overnight low, that overnight low is a poor low. Right? So there's competition of buyers down there. Now everybody thinks, oh, okay, gap up, short the gap, right? We're going to short the gap automatically. You don't ever want to just short a gap, right? Until you have identified a seller. Okay? See, there's a seller at 24, so if you're shorting 23, you put your stop at 24. Look at the B high, right at the overnight high. Now, folks, let's see if we can go and get down under VWAP. How can you tell it's a poor low? I'm so glad you asked. You see right here? That letter and that letter are the same. It says 2. That's a double bottom. That's a poor low. A double bottom means that sellers see that buyers are competing and raise price. Very simple. You don't want to short a poor low. You always want to buy a poor low, put your stop underneath it. So if you are of the short mindset and we stay under 20, well, there you go. That's the business. You see, 10 candles up, 2 big ones down. That's how you suck buyers in, Mike. Right? You're like, come on, yeah, it's. I promise you, if you buy it at 22, it's going to go to 30. Don't worry, you're going to be huge. You'll be huge. Okay, I'll buy it. And then whammo, right? As soon as there's competition, you get a big red candle. Right? So underneath 20, we should be getting down to this 17, 16 area. If you're short under 20, your stop's just above. I wouldn't waste too much money on a stop. I'd be maybe stopped here, right? Because if it climbs back over 20, it'll go back up to this stupid 24 again. Market profile is kind of cool because there are about 4 things in market profile that you can actually use to make money, right? There's a lot of information that comes off of market profile. But what can you actually use to put together a trade? A poor low is one of those things where you buy the poor low, you stick your stop underneath it. Now, the business reason for that trade is that you know that the sellers saw buyers and they're, oh, let's raise price and see if these suckers will follow, right? The longer you go up and churn sideways, right, on a slow day, there's a good chance of an inventory correction lower. So I'm scalp short 20.33 on 4 contracts. I'm covering them here in the 19s, and I got one left. I got a bid at 18, but I don't think it's going to get hit. And my software is kind of slow, so I'm just going to cover. And I'm just scalping micro. I really don't have any interest in putting any serious money to work today. Right? You could see the whole intent. After a while, Mike, you'll stop being food, right? And you'll become the hunter instead of the prey, right? That's my goal, is to make you guys the hunter instead of the hunted. I hate watching people lose money. It drives me crazy. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. Wholesalers are apex predators, definitely. Adalab, welcome to this business. It's a crazy business. It can be hugely rewarding, but you're going to get some frustration along the way. So if you like solving puzzles, it's a good business. If you have discipline, that helps. If you don't have discipline like me, you have to work at it and develop it. That seller at 20 quarter is still there. Nice work, Lear. Nice work. Now don't go spending all that money on some fancy stereo. This price action is everybody's on holiday price action. And the folks around that are still doing business will gladly take your money. Here we go. Let's see if we can tickle VWAP. VWAP's 15 and change now. Yeah, trade small size. Good stuff there. Yeah, no kidding, right? We loved our stereos. Oh. Yeah, this is a market that you have really, really have to. You got to keep your eye on it, um, and just make sure you book your profits. There are some markets where you can hold trades for long, and it's beautiful. We used to call them greedy bastard days. When there was other time frame buying. But these markets, because the range is so big, in a lot of these markets, the ES, the NQ, the ranges are so big, you really want to chop that range into digestible pieces. And even the rotation here, I'd say if you were trading this as a rotation, your rotation would be, the top of the rotation would be here, and I'd say the bottom is just here at 14 and 3/4. So you've got a big 10-point rotation that you could trade back and forth until it breaks one way or the other. Right now that the market's kind of been open for a few, half an hour. Yeah, is that you guys are old enough to remember 6x9 speakers for cars? On the back deck, exactly. I don't know. Most of us had more expensive stereos than the cars were worth. Oh, okay. What's next? Oh my goodness. Anybody still awake? Oh, big rotation. And folks, don't worry. We're gonna get back to business in the chat right away here. It'd be nice to get some liquidation, Aaron. I agree. If we can get underneath 15, like if we can get underneath VWAP, right? I'm really curious to see what happens if we can take out. What I really want to see is down here at that 6,900. I have no idea what's lurking down there. It might take a few hours. What is the coin of bitterness doing? The coin of bitterness is 90,370. It's starting to get over that 200-day moving average. Now the thing is, can we hold on? Here we go. Oh, good. A sell order. Call the newspaper. Extra, extra. Read all about it. Someone's actually got a sell order. Woohoo! Let's go take out the 11s. Come on. Come on. Be a normal market and sell off like a normal market. Come on. See that? Poor low. Bastards. Right? One tick of excess. That means the buyers are competing right here. Okay, now we got a double bottom. Come on, break that. Come on, break that and come down to 69.09. So if you're a buyer of a poor low, you'd be buying 12. You'd put your stop at 11.5. Now, as the market rotates up, you'd have to sell into it because there are other sellers that you're going to compete with. But that's the thing, when we have a gap up, it means there are multiple short positions in the overnight. So there are some people short under 12 who are coming into cover here. How will the 24 hours market affect the market? So if you're long 12, make sure that you put sell orders at 14, just to make sure that you can get out. I think 24-hour trading is going to bring, let's just put it to you this way, the market makers are going to have some really nice cars and airplanes and houses in the Hamptons. 24-hour trading is just going to be, it's just going to bring so much more participation, especially in equities, right? So we have a proper low now, but still they're holding that 11. Come on down to 9, right? I'm looking for 9 if you're short. If we get above 14, yeah, it's a pain in the butt short. Yeah, I think it'll add a lot of, I think it'll be good action. What's really cool about 24-hour markets is in stocks, we'll be able to look at the overnight inventory in a stock and then take the counter auction trade just like NES, right? So overnight inventory is long here, so the counter auction trade was short, right? It worked for the first minute and then back up and down, right? I really just, I would, when we get overnight trading, yeah, I would do that. The levels that I have for equities are sort of longer term levels. So, this is just the crypto stuff. So I'll look at a cost basis. So like on MSTR, the cost basis is here, distribution, and we came right back to cost basis. That's why we're farting around here. God, I hope that guy cleans that stock up for all the people I know who are long. Oof. Something about that dude. There's something about him that gives me the willies. I don't know. I'm having trust issues. I'm not long the stock, full disclosure. I'm not short the stock. Tesla's almost 500? Jeez. So when do you think they're going to announce a 3-to-1 forward split and ram the thing up to 1,000? It's opportunity, right? If you get that thing up to 500, it's like, it's at a new cost basis. It's all underneath us, right? Take it up to 500, go 3-for-1 forward split, rip it to $1,000 again, do it again. He'll have done it, what, 3 times? How many times has he split that thing? 3 times or 2 times? He's done 2 splits, right? After the first $1,000 run. Where are all my equity traders? Oh yeah, he's taking his rocket company public, isn't he? That'll be a nice IPO. Hmm. Yeah, rockets are cool. I'm not a Elon hater. I don't hate the guy. You know, you got to respect the hustle. 2 times. Roop. Send me an email there. I'll get you in. Another rotation. Where's our seller? Where do you think? Up here? 19? You're scalping like a champion today. No problem. That goes anybody who wants to ask questions or have a chat. I'm also taking on some new coaching clients next year. So if anyone's interested, I offer lifetime mentoring. How I work that is it's just a one-time fee and that's it. You don't pay over and over again. And that's unlimited one-on-ones and unlimited one-on-one Zoom mentoring. The one-on-one mentoring, it's expensive. It's a lifetime thing, so it's $29.99 US, but there are no other charges and we allow you to, pay in installments if things are tough. Try not to let people know that, but, you know, and it's working every day. It's like you and I do one-on-ones every day together. That's how that works. And one sec. Yeah. So unlike other courses where they sell you a course, I work with you every day. So it's mentoring. The membership to the room's only $20, but the one-on-one mentoring we charge more because obviously my time, right? And I work with you one-on-one in the room. You know, I'll answer questions and stuff like that and teach. We got a bunch of good stuff happening in the new year with our AI trading coach, and also we'll be having. Um, I'll also be doing a course on investing, practical investing. How long before one becomes profitable? It depends on you. It will take some time. First, you have to learn how the business works. Then you have to learn how to see what's happening on a chart. Then you have to learn how to execute. So those three things are, they're a little, they're going to take some time. So what I like to do is I like to teach people, the business reason why they're taking a trade. And that way they can understand. Can you go from $1,000 to 2 million in to 1 million in 2 years? Yeah, that's not really like, that doesn't really, can you do that in any other business? Now, I'm not saying you can't, but it's a bit unrealistic, right? And that's the problem with retail traders. They see all this money in front of them, and they get totally unrealistic expectations. Like I'm going to take this trade and it's going to solve all my problems. Right? I teach you how to make a living and how to earn money every day. And I teach you how not to blow up your accounts. Yeah. I mean, going from $1,000 to $1 million in 2 years, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but how disciplined are you? How smart are you? How well do you listen to instruction? How stubborn are you? You'd better be off when you start trading. It's better to use funded trader programs. So you pay 30, 40 bucks a month with people like, um, you know, Take Profit Trader and those kinds of firms, and use other people's money to learn how to trade. Oh, that's right. Fazro, you're a joker. That's right. That's why that. See, when you ask questions, I know not to take them seriously now. Right? If your most profitable streak was one day, you're not going to make $1 million in 2 years. It's going to take some time, right? It's not magic. It's a business. Oh, is it because of the YouTube clickbait? Went from 2K to 1 million? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay. Let those guys make money. You know, a lot of people look at trading like, okay, I'm going to learn how to trade, then I'm going to learn how to make banana bread, then I'm going to learn how to, do underwater basket weaving, and I take a course, and then I stick with it for 3 weeks, and then I'm on to something else. And I understand that. But for people who want to make a living, um, I'll make you profitable, right? I build killer traders, and I have been doing so for 30 years. Put it to you this way. The last crew I trained in the business cashed out with about $7 billion, but not from retail trading. How much time? How much time do you have? Is your name Attila or Atalab? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. We're looking for sellers at 24, 21 and 3/4, just the top of these candles here. If you're working full time, there's time. There's always time. Depends on how badly you want it. People who want it really badly will make the time. I have one lady, and we do one-on-ones at uh, 6:30 in the morning my time, which is like 11 o'clock her time. So, and she makes time. We have people. It's really, I'll work when you want to work, right? I'm available. Maybe it's time to take some time off, Mr. Simpson. Ugh. Alrighty. Well, we're going to let you guys figure this out. Have a wonderful, wonderful morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Please come visit us at the Trading Syndicate. If you are interested in mentoring, reach out to me. I am available. We're having all kinds of specials. Thanks, everyone. We will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Trade smart out there, okay? Trade the rotations. Don't get sucked into breakouts. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Be safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.